Sorry, frog in my throat. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Thoughts Per Episode, The Last of Us Edition. Today, we are talking about episode 2, Infected, where Tess is doomed. Poor Tess. I kind of already knew you were doomed because of the whole Joel and Ellie thing that I talked about last episode, but it was still sad to see. I will say, compared to the previous episode, this felt much more like I could, as someone who's not played the video game before, I could kind of see where the levels would factor into things, where things would be gameplay. Although I did hear someone mention about the tower that they went into at the start of the episode, saying that they died so many times in that tower, and we didn't see a single zombie in that tower, so I guess it's probably a lot less action-based than the game would be. But I mean, that's the right call, right? You want it to be more tension-based when it's a show. Also, as far as the feelings of Doom are concerned, yeah, I'm much... I mean, it probably helps that I just watched this at 1 PM instead of 1 AM, but I'm much happier with this world where, there's scary zombies around and stuff, but I'm not steeped in, like, the horrific nature of a world ending, And there's not a whole lot over the years that's tempted me to play The Last of Us, to be perfectly honest, but something I have always admired is the art direction of, like, these ruined cityscapes with, like, moss-covered skyscrapers and, half fallen down buildings and stuff like that. I think it looks super pretty, and it's also quite fascinating to explore. So I'm excited to see that they did not skip out on any budget for this. I do like how the episode began with another flashback to 2003. I thought we were going to see some more Outbreak stuff, and I was bracing myself for it, but I like that we got kind of like the ground zero, the patient zero stuff, where they first catch it and they get a scientist on board, a mycologist, was it called? Like a mycelologist? And they're just like fucking terrified because they know what's about to happen and no one else does yet, and they have to break the news. And they're just like, well, can't you come up with a vaccine or something, or medicine? And they're just like, there is no vaccine or medicine that can be done for this. And they're like, so what do you propose that we do? And she's like, you bomb the city, you kill all of us in it. Obviously, I'm not doing that scene justice, but you'll have seen it if you're watching this video. I think it was really, really well done. I think it was more realistic than while the Outbreak stuff was really, really, really well done. I think it was a little too quick, if you know what I mean. Too quick of an escalation. It's not as realistic. I mean, it adds to the dramatic effect, but you would need this moment, right? First of, like, the slow... like, oh, someone's been infected. Who did they get bit by? Oh my god, a few people are going missing. Oh no, this is more like what would actually happen. And of course, I don't know if we'll be starting every episode with a flashback to 2003, but, I mean, it does help juxtapose the different realities that we're seeing, right? Also, can I just say that little opening where it was like, 2023. I was just like, oh man, that's a mood. I wonder if they've been wanting to make the show for longer than they've been able to, and people are just like, hey, yeah, there's a global pandemic, maybe hold off for now. But I'm sure that will have informed their narrative decision making when it comes to the show, having lived through it. I mean, obviously, our pandemic, thankfully, didn't turn people into monsters, but it was still a thing, and is still a thing. On that cheery topic, so we meet up with a gang. Joel and Ellie and Tess. I know her name now. Hi, Tess. Bye, Tess. And we get some video game ass trawling through abandoned, spooky places. And again, I've already mentioned I love, like, the environment detail and, like, the storytelling of, like, wow, like, this is clearly an overgrown, abandoned place. Like, we don't have these places in real life, so it's interesting to see, like, if we disappeared, what would our cities look like without us? While Tess is off exploring, Ellie asks a question which I was wondering too, which is how long do the infected live? And according to Joel, some of them live for a few weeks, but some of them have been alive the entire time, which, I mean, I don't know if he means, like, alive as in, like, the person is still in there, or, I mean, I guess they wouldn't even know themselves, right? But I don't think that's the case. I think it's literally like the mushroom spores inhabiting their body. Ergo, the zombie still alive for 20 years. Because you have to wonder, if they were all alive for 20 years, wouldn't this city be absolutely overrun by them? And so this is a nice way of establishing that, no, there are groups of them that you need to watch out for because they're extremely deadly, but it's not a world of 7 billion zombies. Of course, that makes it quite tragic as well, because that means that, like, if everyone were to just... I guess I'm probably perpetuating the federal police's beliefs here, but there is something to be said for the argument that if everyone stayed inside the quarantine zones and just waited it out, the world would be reclaimable after a while, probably, right? Like, it's quite tragic to see that most of the zombies are people who have been infected, who have lived through this for 20 years, or who are young and were born after the fall of civilization. Actually, one interesting thing The Last of Us does that I've noticed so far is it's not quite post-civilization, it's more like civilization is a lot smaller than it used to be and it's spread into pockets of people. Anyway, I like how the two main locations we visit in this episode are juxtaposed. You have the building that's just like if humans went and disappeared after some tragic event and that was all there was to it. This is what it would look like. And then you get to the museum and it's like, here's what it looks like when the infection infects a building and you know you're walking into trouble. Like, sure, the entire city could be seen as one post-apocalyptic landscape, but there's still more variety to it than that. There's safe areas and unsafe areas, and here's what a safe area looks like and here's what an unsafe area looks like. Please note that safe areas still may not be safe, just be careful. The minute are people going to get mad if I keep referring to them as zombies? Are they unilaterally called clickers, or are clickers a type of zombie in this game / world? I'm going zombies. So, is it infected? Are we doing that? You're infected if you get bitten, you're not infected if you're brain dead and being controlled by mushrooms. I'm sorry, that's how I see it. So anyway, the minute that zombie kerfuffle began, I knew Tess was doomed. Like, I don't know, just like, maybe The Last of Us is a little predictable. It does what it does really, really well, but when it comes down to it, it's a zombie show, and it was a zombie game, and the reason why I wasn't particularly interested in playing it still stands. Luckily, it's good enough at what it does, in terms of, like, an atmosphere and really nailing home the themes of, like, this post-apocalyptic world and a struggle for survival and everything. It's so good at that. It's like a survival crafting game, right? I don't care about playing survival crafting games as a rule, but I love Minecraft, and I love Subnautica. Like, if they do it well enough, I do like them. But it's a tough selling point for me, because I'm not innately interested in those things. So yeah, I think it's not exactly the most subversive of narratives so far, I should say. I don't know what's coming. But it's good at what it does, so it doesn't matter. Not everything has to be subversive, right? Having said all that, one unique flair I really do like about The Last of Us is that the zombies movement is based on sound. Whoever decided to combine Jurassic Park with Day of the Dead or Night of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead or whatever, I salute you, well done. That makes for some spooky sequences. Also, the fucking makeup and design team or whoever need to be congratulated on those clickers or mushroom people, because the guy that Joel shoots, I think the second one, with the mushrooms coming out of his head, he's just straight up mushed up to the roof, dude. He's all mushroom. He comes from the Mushroom Kingdom. Here we go. What I'm trying to get across, sorry, is that he's a really good looking dude. A good looking zombie. Wait, no, hang on, that came out wrong too. I mean, Tess must have thought the zombies looked okay, because she gave one a kiss at the end, right? Tess's death was sad, and it was scary that she couldn't get the fucking lighter to light. Like, God, what a horrible way to go out. But I kind of picked up, like, I think the actor did a really good job, and probably the director too, because Tess suddenly starts acting really impatient, and you can, like, tell she's kind of hiding something, but it's not overtly done after they leave the museum area. And also, she suddenly seems to get really angry at Joel's cynicism a lot more than she did before. Again, because you know her time, or we're not supposed to know, but because you can infer that her time is running out and that she needs to entrust Joel to this mission that she believes in and he does not necessarily believe in. And I think that all came out in her speech at the end. Like, Ellie figured it out. I think we probably figured it out. We're supposed to have figured it out around the same time as her, right? And also, I think the way Joel reacted to the news and how he didn't give, like, a tearful, heartfelt goodbye or anything like that. He just kind of, eventually when he was finally forced to accept the situation, he stormed off with Ellie and never looked back. I think that is so on point for his character and how he would react to something like that after the life that he has had up until this point. And you can see in Tess's face that she knows it too. She's not, like, upset with him for leaving that way. She just kind of knows why. God, this is a fucking good show. I've heard a lot about episode 3. Apparently it's meant to be a tearjerker, so we'll see how I feel about that one. But I'm trying to space these episodes out a little bit, you know, to counteract all the doom. Maybe I'll watch episode 3 tomorrow, and then by the time episode 4 comes out on Sunday, I'll be watching it alongside the rest of you. How does that sound? Good? good. Before we finish up this episode, two things I forgot to mention which I want to get in before the end of the video. First of all, I liked that we learned more about the zombies and that they have this kind of hive mind, and also that there's like this subterranean complex of mushroom vines or whatever. That's pretty horrifying to think about. It's like the literal world is being infected. And second of all, Froggy on the piano. He just wanted to play some tunes, man. I love that frog. Thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode of Thoughts Per Episode. I'll see you next time.